Uh, I'm Jake Valasek.
And I'm Jim Bloom.
We are at the DuBois Mall Race Motorsports Show.
Motorsports, buddy.
We got
trying
to
to-
all inclusive here.
That's right. We're trying to be politically correct and include everything we can include.
Okay. I drive the 121 Realtree car.
I drive 37A Pro Stock, and my boys have a Pure Stock, and they race with Jake.
Yep.
Where do you race on, Jake?
Hummingbird Speedway, Reynoldsville, Pennsylvania. It's a great little track.
It absolutely is.
It's a big family.
What's that?
It's a big family.
It's a big family. That's kind of why we did this show, is because racing can have 4, 5, 6 different racetracks in a vicinity, but at the end of the day, I had an interview I did with the news, and I said it's still a community. You know, when we need to, we all pull together.
Now, did they video any other cars? Because that was kind of weird that they only showed one car.
Yeah, so I interviewed with this guy for probably 15, 20 minutes, and he took all kinds of video.
A minute and 30 seconds worth of.
Yeah, and the only car they show was Jake. So I'm calling favoritism already for the season, Jacob.
Hey, somebody's got to be the favorite. I'll take that with pride.
How long have you been racing, Jake?
I guess it's been 3 years now. But I mean, sporadically.
Yeah. How long have you had a car? Let's go back to where it started,
How
though.
long have I had a car? 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years.
Yeah.
And I got it for my 16th birthday, okay? And at the time, Dad thought, he'll even tell you this, so I can say this. He didn't think that I would be able to race.
Correct.
So he drug his feet for a while, and a guy that I know kind of pushed him at this show the last time we were here, 2019. Kind of pushed him to get me out on track. And Hummingbird Speedway, actually, they were so gracious with their time letting me learn how to drive on their speedway. That's where I literally learned how to drive. I've driven a car one time, and it was a 1995 Geo Metro, and I just about took out the hillside.
So the best part of Jake's learning how to drive was his dad, Mike, got to ride passenger. And so after the first session, Jake I guess your first session, you were kind of easy on it.
Yeah. And I look to Animal for a lot of advice on anything, not even just racing.
Yeah.
I just message you and ask you.
We talked back and forth quite a bit. So as he got faster, his dad was still riding with him during the day. Well, we gave him some pointers to go out and actually turn some fast laps. And the first session, we laughed at Mike because he held on to the upper bar, and you could see the color in Mike's skin go away. The tighter he squeezed the bar, the faster Jake went. And there was 4 or 5 of us standing there laughing and kind of picking at him. And my son has some in-car video of it, so if we can get that to you.
I think that was actually the second session, because I came in.
Yeah.
And you leaned in the window, and the car was running.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
I have a picture of that.
Dad couldn't hear what he was saying. And he says, hey, drive it straight in the corner.
Lift. And then lift and turn.
And it'll almost turn
Yep.
It should almost turn itself.
Yep.
Like, I don't know any better. All right. Should work. If it doesn't, so I go down the front stretch, go down the back straightaway, don't lift. And Dad told me he was saying, lift, lift, lift. I did lift. It set. I hit the gas. And we were about this close to the wall.
Yeah.
It was all said and done.
It climbed right up the track. But it was a fast lap.
It's one of the best laps I've ever turned, because
it was a really fast lap.
But we've come a long way. I didn't get the race last year. That was a big, how would I want to say?
It was just a mess. Just leave it there.
Yeah, big mess.
It was a mess. But it's all worked out in the end.
Yeah, I say everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe that. And I think now that we got everything in tip-top shape, you should be pretty good. I mean, I do have to thank Dale Barnett with Battle Fabrication, Orvie Newcomb, Jack, all the guys over there. They took a really messed up half race car and turned it into what you see right there. I mean, it's. I think when Dale took on this project, it was a lot more, and you can attest to this because you were there.
Yep. Yeah, I saw it.
There's a lot more than both of us thought.
Yeah.
And honestly, when we were done, the deal was, he would work on it and I would pay him for parts. And when we were done, I tried to pay him, and he said, "It's all good. Just go out there and have fun."
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like in racing, you meet such great people. It's there's no in between. There either is really great people, and then there's people that just aren't the great.
Well, I don't know if I'll agree with that 100%, because in racing, everything's fueled by emotion. So like,
I've never posted anything on Facebook that I regretted ever.
well, what I'm saying is like you'll have nights where some of the greatest people, some of the people you think are the greatest people in the world, will react to an incident, and
how you didn't think that they were going to react.
Right, and it's just that there's so much competition and there's so much adrenaline and drive in this sport that it pushes people to. There's a different side of them when that competition side comes out. And
well, that's usually why I sit in my trailer for a while after.
Yeah.
I usually don't.
Yeah. If I have an incident, I try to leave it to the next week, if at all possible, and then let cooler heads prevail. It doesn't always work that way.
Racers aren't too bad. I mean, they only wait till the last minute for decals and
Yes.
wraps, and I don't know any guy that would do that.
Yeah, I have a few left for the season. I own Animal Graphics and Signs, and I do wraps. I don't know what our count for the year is yet, but I know we still have 37 cars to go. Yeah, and
So you'll probably be over 60.
over 60. 37 is number 37. So I don't know if we get any more after that one or not.
We got peepers over here watching us.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest troublemakers in the world, peeking over his
He was
shoulder.
over here looking at my car the other night, taking pictures.
I'm sure.
I said, if you're going to take pictures, at least take a picture with me in it.
So Jake's whole deal. His dad. I think your dad called me to letter it the first time, right?
It was a Christmas present,
Right.
2011.
Right. So like,
Forget it.
your dad had started showing me pictures of the car, and it was Christmas Day. Like I did Mike's car years ago, 2 different times, and I just fell in love with Jake because he's been through. Yeah. Don't let your head get too big. He's been through a ton in his lifetime, and like it's on his car, and he says it all the time. His life motto is never give up. So I just love that about him because like we bitch and moan. I'm going to say it like I would say it if I was at the racetrack. We bitch and moan about a lot, but some of the things he's experienced made me realize that a bunch of the stuff that I have experienced is minimal. So I just kind of fell in love with
Hey, we all get dealt
right
certain cards.
the hand we get. Right. But your outlook on it has been phenomenal, and I've only had to like course correct you once or twice.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, that's why we're such good friends, because there's last year, I'll say it, there was times that I said, you know what, I'm not having fun anymore. And he would message me and say, hey, this isn't you.
Yeah.
This isn't. And it's nice to have people that'll do that, because even I needed a little reality check. That's what I said about deleted posts on Facebook, because certain times, even the kindest people, and I'm not saying that I'm the kindest person, but
Yes,
like,
one's enough.
we
Thank
all
you.
have moments where we aren't ourselves. And it might only be for 5 seconds, but in that 5 seconds, you make a post on Facebook or
Right.
you text someone,
Yep.
and it could affect that relationship for.
Ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
some relationships we don't.
Right. Right.
It won't bother us.
Right. Some people are just seasons in your life, but at the same time, it's like, so I've got to a point in my life where it's like, what do you want your legacy to look like?
I think there's Richard Gere over there.
Richard Gere.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about your dad, and there's Dave.
No, that's what I'm talking about. They say he looks like Richard Gere.
Oh,
And he
okay.
was making faces, so I.
But like, what do you want your legacy to look like? And I mean, I still have some things where I just did one today, and I'm sure it'll show up on Facebook. You poke and prod at a few things because it gets down in your gut.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
And it'll
But
stay there.
right, and it stays there. But you don't want people to. I don't want to be looked at like, oh, this guy's some big jerk, and why is he a jerk? Whatever.
But the
But
problem is, no matter what you do, some people are going
Right.
to think that.
absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
as far as legacy goes, I mean, I always say, I want to do well, but results are kind of secondary because I think the bigger picture with my disability, which I have cerebral palsy, so it's all hand controls, but the bigger picture is there might be somebody in that crowd that has a disability or is going through a rough time. And for them to see me out there doing what I love, it might inspire them to be better.
Right.
It might inspire them to
Absolutely.
follow it doesn't matter what their dream is. Their dream could be something small, but they could be down in the dumps about it. And seeing
Absolutely.
me out there racing
So that
might
was
help them. And that's what I say. Like, I haven't won any races, but I've won hundreds of times.
you're winning at life, buddy. I mean, to approach what you've been through in your life, you're winning at life, even with the hand that you've been dealt.
There's two things you can do. You could go do what you love, or you could sit and sulk about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, there's days.
Oh, we all have days. Yeah, we all have days.
There's days where you just don't want to do anything, and it's just sit. You sit and do
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, you let it all get in your head. So back to our show, we took it over. My son's standing off camera. We took it over in 2017, and that was the year we brought Jake. Is that right?
It's 2019.
2019.
He tried to get me the first couple years.
Right.
And I was telling
That's
him
right.
earlier, I didn't really feel like it was worthy of being in the show.
Yes, that's right.
And he messaged me one day and he said, listen, this show is for, if you're proud of it,
Bring it.
bring it.
Yeah.
And it pretty much changed my life. It sounds weird to say that, but I mean, it did.
Right.
Because
it was an experience. I mean, we had help with the show. I believe Skip and Lisa Lindemuth actually brought Mega Rock. Was it either Skip and Lisa or Rob and Maria had brought the Mega Rock, so we had like a live remote. I mean, and this place was hopping.
yeah,
And-
it was full.
It was full. We had 39 cars. I just saw it in my Facebook memories this week. There was 39 cars, plus there was other small pieces like go-karts and stuff like that, and it was jam-packed from one end to the other. And it launched Jake's racing career.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always say if it weren't for you and Peach, the yellow car probably would still be sitting there.
Yeah. Well, I was tickled to see that car hit the track because
It hit the track, the wall, a few other competitors.
a couple other cars. Yeah. That's part of racing, though.
Yeah. That car did me well for what it was.
Sure did.
But
Sure
it's
did.
a new generation.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, what you have now, it's pro stock. I'm not supposed to say that on camera.
Can't take them anywhere.
Good, guys. How are you?
But you have to do all this stuff to keep up.
You do. Racing.
Maybe not all of it, but some of it.
Racing's changed a ton. I've had this conversation a couple times with old timers and stuff like that. Like racing, everyone used to build their cars, and we still build stuff, but building stuff today and building stuff 10, 15 years ago is completely different. 10, 15 years ago, like guys were welding their own cage in, creating their own suspension stuff, all that, and now
You just buy it out of a catalog.
you buy it out of a catalog. Even the 4-cylinders aren't aren't a beginner's class like they used to be. This pure stock class that my boys and that Jake are involved in, it used to be a starter class, and it's not a cheap
There is
starter
not a
class.
starter class in it.
No, there's not. I mean, when you talk to 4-cylinder guys that they're spending $5 to $10 to $15,000 on a 4-cylinder car, and and guys are spending that much on pure stock cars, like that's where
I stopped counting my.
yeah. I keep looking at your car, and I'm curious what your receipt tally would be.
Maybe off camera.
I know. This is way more than on.
Yeah, it's so that's what's hurting racing right now.
Turns people away. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many people have stopped me here and said, "Man, I'd love to get back into it, but it's
But yeah, and it's always I'd love to, but and people are afraid of it, and I mean with good reason. I started buying guys old junk cars, and that's what I was racing. And even the car I have now was bought relatively cheap in comparison to what's out there. But you have to buy all the add-on stuff if you're going to be fast, and
you do a lot less than a lot of those other street stock guys. I mean that like
I know you mean it in a very good way. It comes from I've never been afraid to ask, like, hey, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do better? And I ask the guys that are kicking my rear end on a weekly night, and they'll help you. Bob Connor, when I was struggling, Bob Connor said to me, listen, I think you can drive. He said, but I need you to listen. And I wasn't really good at that because I had my own theories of what was going to be right, what was going to be wrong. Bob said, put it all on, put all this on. And like, it turned our racing program around in a week. In a weekend, we went from a car that would carry the left front tire 2 feet off the ground, I couldn't see where I was going, to a car that stayed flat and went forward. And as soon as it stayed flat and went forward, I'm like, I can drive this. And
you're running with Bob.
Yeah. Now at the time Bob was a flagman, and now Bob's back in the class, and he's got an exceptionally good piece. It came from a pretty good stable, and
a lot of work to it.
and we run door to door, and it's just
that's what's fun.
You got to put the work in. A lot of guys see the dollar signs and they're done, and a lot of guys spend a lot of money, but don't have a lot of help, and they go the wrong direction, and the money beats them up, and they quit.
There's ways to save money.
Oh, absolutely.
It's you got to work at it. You got to go online and find the cheaper stuff. You got to ask people if they have spare parts.
Yeah. You know how we race. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to my house, but like, as fast as our cars are, my 24x24 garage doesn't have a door on it. So in the wintertime, our cars don't get a ton of work because you can't work on them when it's 5 below outside. But when we pull out for a Saturday night show, we're going to be one of the cars that everybody's going, that guy might win a feature tonight. So, and that's just from putting in work and research and questions.
For me, I'm just grateful that I started out like I did.
Yes.
Because, I started with no sponsors.
Yep.
We were using 10-year-old parts that Dad had.
Sure.
So you start at that end of the spectrum, and now with my sponsors, and I'm so thankful for them for sticking with me through this past year, but now I can afford more of the pricier items that I can make the car better and make me better.
Yeah.
But I know what it feels like to have to sprint and save. And so now back to the show.
Sounds like we're transitioning. So this year we have, it's my son Joshua. I don't know if you can see him on camera or not. Joshua says he has all the answers. So Joshua, this year we have how many pieces of equipment?
We have about 31 pieces of equipment, including pulling trucks, race cars, go-karts, and ATVs and dirt bikes.
Don't forget that buckboard.
And a buckboard.
And a buckboard, which I think is pretty neat.
It's a little wee tiny car. It's like 7 feet long, and it looks like something to come out of the history books.
Oh.
And it was actually at one time a street legal vehicle.
I
It's a
don't know
pretty
if
cool
I'd
piece.
ride on it.
I'd ride on anything.
I might break it in half if I showed you.
I don't know. It's cool, but like it's a buckboard.
It's a buckboard. So our show this year, the last 3 years we've done something where we give back. I talked about that earlier today on camera. This year, there's a little boy. His name is Penn Hazuda. I hope I get that right because I've said it a couple of times. Penn was diagnosed with leukemia. It's a lot longer diagnosis than I can pronounce, but he's pretty rough. And
Still fighting.
he's still fighting, and he's I believe Penn's 5 now, and he's battling, and so is his family. So we made this as a give back too. So we have a donation box set up where people can donate cash or whatever. We take registrations for the cars and the tracks that are here, and all those donations will also go to Penn and his family. And we're just praying that the little man just keeps. All he needs to do is keep fighting.
Never
Jake
give up.
Jake is proof of that. Exactly. They never give up and keep fighting.
That's what this show's all about.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yes.
that's why we came here.
That's right. Yeah. You guys travel a ways.
Yeah.
Like this. There's places that are closer to you, and you come here, and I appreciate that
Oh, always.
beyond words.
As long as I have something with wheels on it, it runs.
That's fantastic.
I'll be here. But now, sponsor time.
Go ahead. You got a list of them.
Yeah. We got about 20 minutes. No, this past year I hooked up with Realtree and Tyler Jordan. And even through all the troubles we had last year with the car, they were really supportive. He was really supportive. He understood what was going on.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, CorvetteParts.net. They sell Corvette parts. I know you're shocked. But
You beat me to it. Oh, shocker, Jake.
they're in Clevis, Ohio. And let me tell you, they're two of the nicest people you could ever talk to.
He's back.
But I mean, I had correspondence with them, and I was worried. People give you money, and I had nothing to show for it.
I'm going to interrupt you. Is Dad going to interview as well?
And
Dad's not going to interview.
we're not going to get Richard Gere on today.
Chicken. Okay, I was going to jump up and let you sit down.
But I lost my track.
CorvetteParts.com.
CorvetteParts.net.
.net. I'm sorry.
So, I corresponded with them, and I was worried because I'm not the type of, when someone gives me something or pays for me to race,
Right.
I take great pride in that because they believe enough in me to give me
chance.
X amount
Yeah.
of their money that
Yeah.
they earned.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you know what? We're deep in racing. We understand. We know how racing goes sometimes. And whenever you get it on track, is when you get it on track, and we'll support you.
That's awesome.
And at the end of the year, I emailed them and said, hey, listen, I didn't race this year. You don't owe me anything.
Right.
And a few weeks later, I got another sponsorship check at them.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
They're great people. Number one, Cochran Cadillac, Monroeville. Dad works at Cochran.
Yep.
That's how that kind of came about. But they've been my longest sponsor. I think 4 years now they've been a part of
Yeah. Yeah.
my car. And you always have a special place for your first big sponsor because they took a chance on you when nobody else kind of would. I guess is the right word.
Yep. Yep. Sure.
And it just means a lot that people care enough to support it. And I mean, I got a lot more sponsors than I ever thought I would get.
Yes, you do. I know because I printed them all out
3 times.
3 times.
Are we good?
Wrong.
And we're back.
And we're back.
um,
Listen, you're gonna have a job at TV.
I don't know about that. Paluso Roofing is also a new supporter. They're in Ford City, so they're pretty local to us. They support a lot of racing. They have a sprint car that runs Warnerville and Sharon, all those other places. Truett Farms, best pork around. He also has a race car that's down the hall.
Yep, I'm sure you're gonna bang doors with him. That's a good thing, Wayne. I'm not picking on you.
I'll pick on him.
We might not hit him.
Oh, here we go.
He might. I mean, he might have to catch us first.
That's right.
That's rough.
That's right.
I mean, we do have better equipment now.
Oh, Jay.
I don't know.
You really want to say that on camera?
They did a lot of work in the off season, just like the rest of us. So,
I mean, better than what we had.
they're way better than what we've had.
Yeah, so,
Absolutely.
I mean, I like Wayne.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I tried to get him in a pink suit, too, with a curly tail, but he wasn't into it.
Make sure you pull it
Uh,
down. See what he needs. Like you off camera right now.
The seat I have in my car is from the Joy of Seating. They're a NASCAR seat supplier. My first year that I raced, I had issues with my one arm going numb, sitting in the line out and stuff like that. So they said, hey, come on down to Charlotte, we'll help you out. So we went down there and they ended up giving me a seat,
Yeah.
which that seat's very expensive.
Very.
So
Very.
that was a shocker
They're the best seats in the industry.
by
Right.
far.
Yes.
That is the most comfortable I've ever been in.
I don't have one of those seats, Jake.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm just thankful.
You've been blessed, buddy. You sure have.
But Turner Trucking is another big supporter. They support you
Yep.
guys as well.
JR and his family are exceptionally good to us. They support both of our cars. We probably would have a hard time racing without them.
Absolutely.
So we're extremely thankful.
You'll notice a lot of these sponsors, they sponsor several cars.
Right.
They're really in it to help the sport. So we're very thankful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ingram Engines. He really helped me out this past off season.
I heard this car run, and when Jake says he really helped him out, he really helped him out.
I bought used parts.
Okay.
Instead of domes right off the shelf, probably.
No, I bought somebody else's parts.
Well-
Honestly, I did.
Somebody else's late model parts. I heard this thing run, Jake.
He's trying to get me in trouble.
I see why Jake doesn't play cars.
Yeah, Jake doesn't have a poker face.
It should run all right.
You're going to do exceptionally well, bud. I'm excited for your season.
Me too. It'd be nice to get back in the seat.
Back in the seat. That's right.
Nothing like it.
The Aerosmith song will be playing. Back in the saddle again.
Hopefully we do very well. If we don't, we might have to find a new driver. I don't know.
No. Took me 3 years to win my first feature, Jake.
Yeah, but you ran every week here.
I did.
I mean, so
I did.
it's kind of, and your boys can attest to this too. I mean, when you're not running every week,
Yes. Yeah.
it's hard to get that sweet spot of
Right.
what you think you need.
And trust, find that trust in the car. Like my boys, they rotate. Eat every third week or every week. There's one of the three is in the car, so they have a hard time finding that spot, finding that trust in the race car. And
Well, that might
Each
be
of them-
different for each of them.
I was going to say each of them. I've realized that each of them like something a little different. So we're constantly okay. Caleb's in this week. He likes this. Josh is in this week. He likes this. Noah's in this week, so we probably should put rub rails down the side of the car because he's going to hit the fence.
Ow!
Because he
Ooh, that
just
hurt.
loves
Hurt
to
me.
run it
I'm not
hard.
even- Wow.
That's got to be posted, just so Noah will be like, "Geez, Dad."
He'll say a couple provocative words.
Yeah, well.
Exactly.
We give good content.
He does. If he doesn't win, he knows what a pancake is all.
Yep, for sure.
I've hit the weight too.
Yeah, you have.
and another car.
In another car. Everything good? Okay.
But the rest of my sponsors, Long Handyman Service, S&S Sales, they actually bought me a pink helmet to go with my pink bunny suit.
Yeah, listen, you have a whole other video on just the pink bunny suit.
That's true. But Grady's decision night. I'm gonna wear a pink suit, and they're gonna raffle it off
Yes.
at night.
Yeah.
And all the profits go to Grady's decision. So I'm gonna make sure to get it real dirty. I might actually run this month.
Oh my goodness.
But,
Just so it's authentic.
yeah. Jim's gonna make my pink helmet have bunny ears and stuff like that. He knows what he's doing. It's pretty good.
I've done a few stickers here and there.
I tried it. I will never do it again. Ever.
Once you get a handle on it, it's not too bad. Now Josh
I
was
did get a handle on it, and I threw it across the room.
oh
You
buddy.
think you do good, and you mess up one
Yep.
part of it, and it's
Yeah,
like,
and it's junk. Yep. Yep.
and I'm picky, so like if it's off by like this much,
Yep. Like, it's good to be picky.
It
no,
is.
it's not.
It is. That's how stuff gets better. Yep. That's a good thing.
I've learned that it's a lot easier to pay a professional
There's Pappengrummer.
to do the work.
Who's the
Good.
professional?
A good professional.
Listen, don't label me professional.
Semi.
I don't need that pressure.
You like Will Ferrell, semi-pro.
I am a semi-professional race car driver.
I'm an amateur. I'm a wannabe race car driver. So we might not be in the same boat, but we're rowing on the same harbor.
That's right. That's pretty good. Do you have that one like tucked away
No.
waiting to use?
Just came to me.
That's
why
pretty
I wanted
good.
to do this with the both of us, because then it'd be less stressful.
Yeah. Yeah,
We could just be off the cuff.
I've been in front of the camera a couple times this week, and like the first one,
This one's always the worst.
it was on the news, and I looked like I was maybe on speed or something because my eyes were just like,
You see, I kind of forget to do the important thing of breathing.
yeah, start
So-
turning purple or dark pink.
Hyperventilate. You know. Yeah, that's not the
Start to
pink.
match that.
That's not the pink I want to
That's
be.
not the pink you want to be.
No. So.
Hey, I've got to cut my part short because I have family walking around here that I have to see.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks,
talking
buddy.
to you. Thank you for coming over and
Absolutely.
helping me.
Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
All right, I gotta go. Thank you.
Yep.
How about it, bud? Now you're on your own.
And that was the Animal Gym balloon. TA Culp Angus Beef is another sponsor. They're on the hood of the car. Very good beef products. Lindemuth Laser Etching. Also, they do like leather patches on hats and make tumblers and stuff like that. They make nice products. I want to thank Don Fulton also. He helps us a lot in the sponsorship department. He just wants his name on there, no business or anything, so I'm glad to do that. He's supported me since day one. Bob Lipinski Racing does my transmissions. He does a great job. Is not a sponsor. I just